I hate it when people don't wish the worst upon their enemy. I see it as weakness, and you should never be kind to your enemies. You should wish the worst upon them and not care. Muhabara came to me and started burning me, and then he said, "Is this what you wish upon your enemies?" And it was so painful. To feel the fire all over me, it was so relentless. I think that it is the same fire that can keep us warm during the winters, and it's the same fire that helps us cook our food. It's the same fire that was all over me. Yes, this is what I wish upon my enemy. I have gone to Muhabara, who is going to give the worst punishment to my enemy, but I must feel them first. Then, as I was sure that the fire is what I want for my enemy, Muhabara stopped and had to think for a moment. Then he had me eaten by a bunch of meat-eating wild animals, and as I was being eaten alive, I was thinking to myself how fantastic this would be for my enemy. Yes, I wished this upon my enemy, and it was another kind of pain to be eaten by a pack of predatory wild animals. I should have been screaming, but the thought of this happening to my enemy, it kept me strong. Then Muhabara stopped for a moment and decided there were much worse things that I could wish upon my enemies. He had me drowning in the deepest ocean, and it got so dark, and my body was being crushed. The thought, though, of my enemy experiencing this was the light that kept me sane, drowning in the ocean. It was never ending, but I knew this was what I wanted for my worst enemy. If you don't wish your enemy the worst, then they aren't your enemy. Then Muhabara started thinking again, and this time he let off a disease which affected me and killed my wife, children, and my grandchildren. This was amazing, as I truly want this for my worst enemy. Then Muhabara started smiling, as he knew this is what I want for my enemy, and he didn't have anything worse at the time. I knew that this was it, and you know when you finally find something that is totally right for you. It's an amazing feeling. Then Muhabara came up to me and said, "Your worst enemy isn't going to experience any of this, because you are my worst enemy." I committed a crime which states that the person who committed it, that their whole family shall also go to prison with them. My wife and baby are in the same prison cell as me, and it's terrifying. I'm grateful we have our own prison cell, and that we are not separate. But I do fear something bad will happen to my family for being in prison with me. It's all my fault, and I risk committing an illegal act which imprisoned me and my whole family. I risked everything, and now I have no idea how I'm going to protect them from the other prisoners. The first night in the cell with my family, our baby was crying throughout the night, and the other prisoners were becoming annoyed and angry. They kept shouting at me and my wife to keep our baby quiet, and keeping a baby quiet is not always easy. Then I heard one prisoner going apeshit in his own cell due to my baby crying, and I am terrified. I have no idea what I'm going to do. Every time my baby was quiet, it was a miracle, and things did settle eventually. Prison itself is bad, but having your own family stuck in a cell with you is even worse. Then my wife started shouting while inside our cell, and she rightfully blamed me for this situation. I shouldn't have committed the illegal act. I risked her and my baby's life for committing that act. When you know your own family might be in the same prison cell as you, it deters a majority of people from committing the crimes that I have committed. You still get people like me though, and rumours have been spreading that the other prisoners are sick of me and my family. They are sick of my crying baby and worrisome wife. They want us gone, and they are planning a way to kill us. I had an incident where another prisoner wanted to babysit my baby, and obviously I said no. This prisoner wasn't asking, and I had to be strong and keep saying no. I was punched in the face, and my baby started crying. I fought back, and my wife was just shouting. In that moment, I hated everything, and I wanted to suffer for bringing my family into this. The fight didn't last long. Then, another family were put into a prison cell together, and we were happy. For a while, everything seemed fine, and in prison you do get free TV, food and other luxuries. It was great to have another family in prison, and we could both relate. Then one day, that other family were murdered, and my wife and I heard their screams throughout the night. Families don't last long in prisons, and we are now cleaning their cell. My 5-year-old child left me nothing in his will. That bastard. He could leave me nothing in his will when he died, and that's so unfair. I did the most with him as I played with him, put him to sleep, fed him, and even when I was tired from work, I still did all those things. Yet my 5-year-old didn't seem to think about me in his will when he died. My wife got all of his houses, and when she sells all of them, she will surely be a millionaire. She never used to cook, clean, or do any adult things, and always waited for me to come home to do them. I hate you so much, son, and even though you only lived for 5 years on this earth, I did so much with you. You even gave your first useless uncle all of your car collections. Your uncle does drugs and has been in and out of prison, yet you gave your expensive car collection to him, and he will be loaded after selling them. You could make a business out of them, but you and I both know that he just wants the money for more drugs. You gave me absolutely nothing in your will, my lovely 5-year-old boy. I was the only functioning adult in your life, and you even gave both your dysfunctional grandparents money, millions of pounds each. That's £4 million, and here I am, struggling and working a horrid job. I am experiencing multiple emotions, and the first one is love and mourning for the loss of my 5-year-old boy. Then hatred sits next to me, as well as agony, because you didn't mention me in your will. I want to dig you up and scream in your face. Did I do something to harm you? I was the only proper adult in your life. Maybe you didn't notice that at 5 years old, and maybe if you had lived a bit longer, you would have seen the difference between me and your mother, both your uncles and both of your grandparents. Why would you give so much to the most horrid people? But maybe you were horrid yourself. You were hard to look after. You even gave £1 million to your second uncle, who is dead, the one who cowardly shot himself after getting caught doing something illegal. They opened up his grave and put the cash in the coffin with him. So I dug him up and took the bag with £1 million with me. I mean, he is dead, and what does he need money for? If I'm holding the bag full of money in my hands, your second uncle, who is dead, is knocking on my front door. You were 5 years old, but I hate you. Here is why I write like a 9-year-old. It's because I don't cook the mind-controlling chicken enough. Mind-controlling chicken tastes amazing when you manage to cook it the right way, but if you don't, you will soon realise that you haven't cooked it well enough. Cooking mind-controlling chicken isn't the same as cooking a non-mind-controlling chicken, and there is a huge difference in quality of taste and nutrients. Mind-controlling chicken is tastier and healthier. I always laugh at the butchers who cut up the mind-controlling chicken. The chickens are always scared, and as a last resort, they make the butchers do weird things, like shout and jump. The butchers fight back against the mind-controlling chicken, and they cut them up. The mind control can still last even after the chickens have been cut up. The butchers will start dancing around, and it will be a while before they return to normal. The effects of the mind control inside the butchers can pass around like flu, and I end up writing like a 9-year-old. People start to think I'm a little slow, or some even think I'm an overgrown child. Bus drivers let me on the bus for free. Police officers deal with me like a child, and mothers who have lost their children try to take me home because they think I'm their child, because I end up writing like a 9-year-old. But then it wears off after a while, and killing a mind-controlling chicken is hard. Even when it is chopped up, it can still be alive. Like when I brought the chopped up chicken home. Some of my roommates' minds were being controlled to do stupid random shit. They fight it off and criticise me for bringing home such a chicken. People online start thinking I'm a 9-year-old, as I still type like one. The mind-controlling chicken still has me in its grips. So I get angry and I cook the hell out of that chicken for too long. And I am sure I'm going to get a huge electrical bill at the end of the month. I look down at the tasty, juicy, well-cooked chicken. I eat it, and now I am writing like a 5-year-old. The mind-controlling chicken still has some life left in it. Hopefully my digestion will kill whatever is left, but it tastes so good. Mind-controlling chicken are amazing to eat, but very hard to prepare. My university is going meat-free, and that means no more meat in any canteens, or even bringing meat into the university. People who eat meat are despicable, and it's about time meat has gotten banned. All those poor animals who have been slaughtered so that we can just eat them. It's so cruel. Now we are saving those animals from being killed and eaten. All those dogs and cats don't need to worry about being a university student's meal. All those chickens, cows and sheep don't need to worry about being slaughtered. All those horses, parrots, hamsters, rats and snakes don't need to worry about becoming a sandwich. There has been some serious backlash, and some students have condemned this university for going meat-free. Apparently they can't survive without meat, and that they enjoy eating the meat. Why can't they see how cruel it is to kill an animal? And all they think about is how much they enjoy meat. They have also been saying how it is their right to eat meat, and how they are being forced into not eating it. We simply told them that the animal they eat are being forced against their will to be turned into food. Some students have been sneaking in meat food products, and they should be ashamed. Then, more shame came onto the students who brought about a meat-free university, because even though we have banned eating meat on the premises, what about the meat on our bodies? When we voted to go completely meat-free, then that means even taking off the meat off our own bones. They were so right, and to prove that we are truly meat-free, we have to take off the meat that is on our bones. Then truly, we can be meat-free. Some students have left the university as they have said we have gone too far, or rather, they were too cowardly and hypocritical for not taking off the meat on their bodies. Those that stayed, we all took off the meat from our bones, and now we are just skeletons. We are truly meat-free. We have been scouring the world for anyone that has meat on their bones and bodies. Being meat-free is truly the only way, and it is also good for the environment. We are becoming better and fairer to all animals and living things by going meat-free. If you are meat-free, it is not enough to just not eat it. You must take off the meat on your body.